Why your mind won't stop racing, and how to quiet it down. Ever crawl into bed, completely wiped out, close your eyes, and suddenly your brain decides it is the perfect time for an emergency staff meeting. First it drags up something awkward you said years ago. Then it replays a recent conversation. Why did they say it like that? Are they mad at me? Did I say the wrong thing? Before long, you are imagining everything that could go sideways tomorrow. You check the clock again, and somehow an hour is gone. You are still trying to fix problems that may not even be real, and the harder you tell yourself to stop thinking, the louder your mind gets. It is almost as if "stop thinking" sounds like "please think even harder." Harder, if this happens to you, it does not mean you are weak, negative, or bad at controlling your mind. Your brain is not trying to torture you. It is trying to protect you. The problem is that it is taking a useful tool, thinking, and running it until you are exhausted. So let us look at why overthinking starts, and how to catch the moment, when useful reflection turns into a loop. More importantly, we will look at how to step out of it. We are not going to force your mind to go blank. That usually makes the whole thing worse. A better goal is learning to let thoughts show up without chasing every single one. Thinking is not the same as overthinking. Thinking helps you understand what happened, plan your day, make choices, and learn from mistakes. Overthinking is different. It keeps asking the same questions without giving you new information or moving you any closer to an answer. Thinking sounds like, "I have a meeting tomorrow. I will write down the 3 points I need to cover." Overthinking sounds like, "What if they ask something I cannot answer? What if I look unprepared? What if I freeze? What if this wrecks my entire future?" In the first example, the thought leads somewhere. It ends in an action. In the second, every question gives birth to another one. The same thing can happen with the past. You replay a conversation and think, "I should have answered differently. Everyone could tell I was nervous. They probably still remember." Your brain runs the scene again, as though one more replay could change the ending. Overthinking feels productive because it takes so much effort. But a busy mind is not necessarily a mind that is getting anywhere. It is like flooring the gas while the car is in neutral. The engine gets louder, you burn fuel, and you still do not move. Here is a simple test. Is this thought leading to one specific action, or is it just creating more thoughts? If it gives you something useful to do, you are problem solving. If it only creates more doubts and scenarios you cannot verify, you are probably overthinking. Why does your brain do this? Your brain is built to scan ahead for danger. It remembers painful experiences, notices changes, and tries to predict what might happen next. That is useful when a threat is real. The trouble is, that same alarm can go off because someone has not texted back, a conversation felt weird, a decision at work is hanging over you, or you might be criticized. All of those situations share one thing: uncertainty. Your brain hates not knowing what comes next. So it tries to think its way back into control. If I run through every possibility, maybe I can be ready for anything. If I replay the conversation, maybe I can figure out what they really think. If I picture every outcome, maybe I can avoid getting it wrong. But real life never gives us total certainty. You cannot know exactly what someone else is thinking, or predict every consequence of a choice, or prevent every mistake. So the search never ends. Your mind is looking for a level of safety reality cannot promise. That is why overthinking can create such a convincing illusion of control. It feels like you are preventing failure or rejection. Most of the time, you are simply suffering before anything has happened. Before it happens, when your mind gets stuck in the past or the future, overthinking usually travels in 2 directions, backward and forward. When it goes backward, you get rumination. Why did I do that? How did I miss that? What would have happened if I had chosen differently? Looking back can help when you take a lesson from it. Healthy reflection says, "This happened, this is what I learned, and this is what I will change." Rumination says, "This happened, so let us replay it another 100 times." When your mind races into the future, worry takes over. A possibility starts feeling like a probability, then a guarantee. "I might make a mistake" becomes, "I will probably mess this up." And eventually, this is going to be a disaster. Notice which direction your mind traveled. That tells you what to do next. If you are stuck in the past, find the lesson and let the scene end. If you are trying to control the future, choose one action you can take. or practice sitting with the unknown. Why everything feels worse at night during the day. Work, noise, conversations, and screens are all competing for your attention. At night, most of that goes quiet. Your body gets still, and the thoughts that were waiting in the background finally get the stage. And when you are tired, perspective gets harder. A problem that feels manageable in the morning can feel enormous at 2 a.m. So remember, not every late-night thought deserves an emergency meeting. If you cannot solve the problem from your bed, write it down and come back to it tomorrow. Tell yourself, this feels urgent because I am exhausted. I do not have to solve it tonight. Bedtime is a terrible time to make a major decision, evaluate your entire life, or predict the future. Sometimes the smartest response is to sleep before you keep thinking. Stop trying to push the thought away. Try this. For the next 10 seconds, do not think about a pink elephant. What popped into your head? Exactly. The more you try to ban a thought, the more attention you give it. To check whether you have finally stopped thinking about it, you have to think about it again. So instead of fighting the thought, name it. Do not say, everything is going to go wrong. Say, I am having the thought that everything is going to go wrong. Do not say, they are rejecting me. Say, my mind is creating a rejection story right now. That small change gives you space. You are no longer treating the story as a fact. You are noticing that your brain is producing a possibility. A thought is not a command. It is not proof, and it is not a prediction. It does not need an immediate answer. It is a mental event that can show up, hang around for a moment, and pass, even if you never solve it. Pass separate the facts from the story. When we are anxious, we blur the line between what we actually know and what we are assuming. Imagine you text someone and they have not replied. The fact is simple. I sent a message 4 hours ago, and I have not heard back. The story might be, they are mad at me. I said something wrong, they are ignoring me. They never want to talk to me again. Maybe, but those are not the only explanations. They could be working, sleeping, driving, dealing with something personal, or they may have simply forgotten. Try dividing a page into 2 sides. On one side, put what you actually know. On the other, put the story your mind is telling. You are not replacing a negative guess with an equally made-up, positive one. You do not have to say, I am sure everything is totally fine. Just say, I do not have enough information to know yet. That puts the interpretation back where it belongs, in the category of possibilities, not facts. Possibilities, ask, is there anything I can do? When you catch a loop, ask, is there one thing I can do right now that would help? If the answer is yes, turn the worry into a small, specific action. Instead of saying, I need to fix my whole life, try, I will write down my top 3 priorities for tomorrow. Instead of, I have to solve all my money problems, try, I will review my spending for 20 minutes and choose one change. Instead of, I have to figure out whether they are upset, try, I will ask a clear, respectful question. Vague worries fill the whole horizon. Once you turn them into specific steps, they shrink back down to size. But sometimes there is nothing you can do yet. You may be waiting on an answer, missing key information, or dealing with an outcome that depends on somebody else. In that case, thinking harder will not give you more control. The real skill is tolerating uncertainty for now. Try saying, I do not have enough information to solve this. I have done what I can for today, or I do not need the answer right this second. Uncertainty is uncomfortable, but uncomfortable is not the same as dangerous. Sitting with an unanswered question for a few minutes, without rushing to solve it, is one way you train your brain to handle uncertainty. Train it, schedule your worries. If your mind keeps bringing up the same problem, you do not have to ignore it. Give it an appointment. Set aside 15 or 20 minutes a day as your worry window. Just do not schedule it right before bed. During that time, write down everything that is weighing on you. Then ask 3 questions. Is this up to me? What part can I control? And what is the next step I can take? For example, I am worried I will not finish this project. Part of that is in your control. Your next step might be 30 focused minutes tomorrow, with your phone in another room. Or maybe, I am worried about what someone thinks of me. That is not fully in your control. Your job is to check whether you acted in line with your values, then accept that you cannot manage someone else's interpretation. If a worry shows up outside your scheduled window, write it down and tell yourself, I will handle this during worry time. Your brain hears that the issue has not been ignored. It has been scheduled. And when you come back to it later, some worries will already feel less urgent. Others will turn into real action steps. The difference is that you choose when to engage, instead of letting worry interrupt every part of your day. Get out of your head and back into your body. Overthinking does not live only in your thoughts. Your body can go into alarm too. Your jaw tightens, your shoulders rise, your breathing speeds up, or your chest and stomach feel tense. It is hard to reason clearly while your body thinks you are in danger. Sometimes you do not need a better argument. You need to give your nervous system a signal that you are safe. Put both feet on the floor. Let your shoulders drop. Unclench your jaw. Breathe in gently, then make the exhale a little slower and longer, without forcing it. Next, notice 5 things you can see, 4 things you can physically feel, 3 sounds you can hear, 2 scents you notice, and 1 thing you can taste or appreciate. This exercise does not erase your problems. It reminds you that you are here, right now, not trapped inside the imaginary scene your mind is projecting. A short walk, a stretch, tidying one small area, or washing your face can help too. You are not avoiding the problem. You are returning to a calm state where you can respond more clearly. Choose the good enough decision. A lot of people overthink because they want the perfect choice, one that guarantees no regret, no criticism, and no unexpected consequences. But the perfect choice almost never exists. Every option carries some uncertainty, and choosing one thing usually means giving up something else. Even a good decision can have hard moments. Before you keep analyzing, ask, what information do I actually need? Am I looking for useful facts or a guarantee? How much time does this decision deserve? And what is good enough based on what I know today? Then set a limit. I will compare these options for 30 minutes, and then I will choose. Or, I will ask one experienced person, not 10 people with 10 different opinions. Choosing does not make doubt disappear. Your brain may still ask, but what if the other option was better? You do not have to prove the choice was perfect. Remind yourself, I made the best call I could with the information I had. Clarity does not always come before action. A lot of the time, it shows up after the first step. Talk to yourself like you would talk to a friend. Overthinking often comes with a harsh inner voice. You should have known better. You always mess things up. Why can you not be more like everyone else? Now imagine a friend came to you with the exact same problem. Would you talk to them that way? Probably not. You would try to understand the context, remember that they did the best they could, and help them find a next step. Self-compassion is not letting yourself off the hook or pretending mistakes do not matter. It means correcting yourself without tearing yourself apart. You can say, yes, I made a mistake, but that mistake is not my whole identity. You can also say, I did not handle that the way I wanted to, but I can own it, repair what I can, and learn from it. Beating yourself up for hours does not prove that you care. Learning, making repairs, and changing what you do next, that proves you care. The 3-step reset. The next time you notice yourself overthinking, use this reset. Step 1. Name it. I am caught in an overthinking loop. Naming what is happening helps you observe the loop instead of getting swallowed by it. Step 2. Sort it. Ask, am I trying to rewrite the past, solve a real problem, or control something uncertain? If it is the past, look for the lesson. If it is a real problem, find one action. If it is uncertainty, practice letting the question stay unanswered for now. Step 3. Choose. If there is an action, take the smallest possible step. If there is not, write the thought down and return to your body, the present moment, or whatever you are doing. You may have to repeat this several times. That does not mean the method is failing. Every time you notice the loop and redirect your attention, you are training a different response. You do not need to win a debate with your own mind. You only need to stop showing up for every argument it invites you to. Try this tonight. Before bed, grab a sheet of paper and answer 4 questions. First, what is taking up space in my mind? Put the worry into one sentence. Second, what part of this is actually up to me? Be specific. Do not include other people's choices, feelings, or reactions. Third, what is the smallest next step? Maybe it is sending an email, preparing a document, asking for help, starting a conversation, or waiting until you know more. Fourth, when will I do it? Pick a specific time. For example, tomorrow at 10, I will review the document for 20 minutes, then close the notebook. If the thought comes back while you are trying to sleep, remind yourself, it is written down. I do not have to solve it from bed. Your mind may bring it up again. That is okay. Your job is not to make the thought disappear instantly. It is to stop reopening the mental meeting every time it knocks. Your brain will probably never stop producing thoughts, and that is okay. Quieting your mind does not mean making it completely blank. It means learning not to chase every thought, answer every doubt, or treat every worry like an emergency. You can feel uncertain without solving it immediately. You can remember a mistake without punishing yourself for hours. You can have a negative thought without turning it into a prediction. And you can feel afraid without letting fear make every decision for you. Remember, not every thought needs an answer. Not every worry has to be solved today. Not every possibility is a threat. And you do not need to see the entire road before taking the next step. The next time your mind starts racing, do not yell at it to stop. Notice what it is doing. Name the loop. Separate the facts from the story. See whether there is an action you can take. If there is not, come back to the present. Your mind can keep talking without you following every story it tells. If overthinking keeps disrupting your sleep, relationships, work, or daily life, reaching out to a mental health professional can be an important next step. Asking for support does not mean you have lost control. It means you do not have to carry all of this by yourself. If this video helped, send it to the person whose brain also schedules emergency meetings at 3 in the morning. And tell me in the comments, does your mind get stuck more on the past, on what might happen next, or on what other people may be thinking about you? I will see you in the next video.